Okay, let's unpack something that really grabbed me. Imagine getting a peek into the marriages of almost 1,500 people. We're talking folks married over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the really surprising part, despite, incredibly diverse backgrounds, the core of their advice, strikingly similar.
Yeah.
It's like boiling down all those years of lived experience into maybe, what, a dozen or so things these people swear by.
Yeah.
Things that aren't just important, they actually work.
That's the fascinating core here, isn't it? This isn't just theory from a book.
Right.
It's distilled wisdom, hard-won stuff from people who've actually, navigated the long haul of commitment. And for you, listening, someone who wants to get relationship insights quickly, thoroughly, well, this is gold.
Yeah, it cuts right to the chase.
It really does. Straight to the essential elements, bypassing the fluff and focusing on what matters, based on, real life.
Exactly. You, the learner, you're
Mhm.
looking for those aha moments, but without feeling totally overwhelmed, right?
Hmm.
So think of this like your direct line to understanding what makes relationships tick. We're diving deep into these shared experiences, pulling out the key stuff for success.
And what makes this collection particularly powerful is the balance.
Yes, that's a great point.
We're not just hearing from the couples with the perfect Instagram feeds.
Huh.
We also get perspectives from people who've been through divorce. And that gives us a much clearer picture of what to aim for, but also, crucially, what to avoid.
That balanced view is so important. We often just get the highlight reel, the success stories.
Which can set up totally unrealistic expectations, leave people feeling like they're failing somehow.
For sure.
So, including the experiences of those whose relationships ended, well, it gives us a much more nuanced, practical grasp of what's really critical, the foundations.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward then. We're unpacking those core reasons for relationship success straight from the experiences, the emails of people who've really been there, done that, ready to jump in.
Let's do it.
It seems like the very foundation, like why you choose to be with someone in the first place.
Huh?
That makes a huge difference.
This really resonates. I mean, if you think about the fundamental drivers of our behavior, the underlying why behind any big commitment, it massively influences how long it lasts.
Totally.
And the source material really hammers this home. Be with someone for the right reasons.
Right. And Greg's story, that really brings it home. He shared how his first two marriages were, well, rooted in external pressures.
Mm-hmm.
His religious background, feeling like it was just, what you did. And then the second time, trying to escape his own loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong reasons, both, as he realized, totally the wrong reasons.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't until his third marriage that he got it. The real reason is just simply enjoying being around the person, the joy of their company.
And that recurring theme from people reflecting on what went wrong before, it really underlines this. When they were asked, what was the core issue, so often the answer came back. Being with the person for the wrong reasons. That pattern, it tells you something significant.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just like vague unhappiness. We're talking specific wrong reasons people listed.
Like what?
Pressure from family, social circles, settling out of fear of being alone.
Okay.
Choosing someone based on, how it looks, the image, or that kind of youthful infatuation where you think love just solves everything.
Yeah, that love conquers all myths.
Boy.
These wrong reasons, they often come from outside pressures or internal insecurities, don't they? Rather than a real, genuine connection with the actual person.
Right.
What's fascinating here is the emphasis on genuine, deep-level admiration as the bedrock. Notice Greg's journey. It highlights that crucial, often missed truth. The foundation isn't external pressure or filling some void inside you.
It's just enjoying them.
It's genuinely enjoying their company. That shift in motivation, it's profound, and so many people echoed it after learning from past mistakes. So admiration, it's more than just liking someone. It's deep respect, positive regard for who they are.
And can you admire someone you don't feel that like burning romantic love for all the time?
Absolutely. And that admiration seems like a much more stable foundation for the long haul.
Yes. That admiration really feels like the bedrock because, like the sources point out, everything else, happiness, whether it lasts, it all seems to hinge on this mutual respect, this high regard.
And that danger of using love to, fix yourself, you can't overstate that.
Right.
It often leads straight into what we call codependency, that dynamic where you're relying way too much on the other person for your self-worth, your happiness,
Mm.
often involves enabling bad habits, blurring the lines between your needs and the relationship's needs.
Yeah, I see that.
And the key takeaway here is that love itself is neutral. It's not some magic wand for personal problems.
Definitely not enough on its own.
Not even close. It needs that admiration, that respect underneath it.
Okay, so moving on from those foundational whys, the next big theme that popped up again and again was, well, having realistic expectations. Forget the fairy tale, folks.
Exactly. That happily ever after stuff we get fed. It just sets us up for disappointment.
Sorely.
Paula's quote about not being gaga every single day and even having, fleeting negative thoughts sometimes, that's so important. It normalizes the natural ebb and flow in any long-term thing.
It's like the love itself just evolves, right? It
Yeah.
expands, contracts, sometimes it mellows out, then it deepens again.
Mhm.
That initial, crazy intensity everyone talks about, it's not meant to last forever, and that's okay. That's normal.
Historically, people even saw intense love as a kind of sickness, a temporary insanity.
Really?
Yeah, it highlights how irrational it can be early on. That Tahiti elopement example in the source. Perfect illustration of how infatuation leads to impulsive stuff that isn't always built to last.
And the idea that romantic love might just be, like, a short-lived biological trick for procreation.
Well, yeah, puts that dizzying high in perspective, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
It's powerful, sure, but maybe not the enduring foundation we think it is.
Which brings us to that crucial distinction the source has highlighted. The difference between that initial romantic buzz and what many called true love.
Well,
True love, they described it more as a conscious choice, a daily commitment.
right.
Sticking with it through the less glamorous bits of life. Doctor's visits, bodily fluids, insecurities. The real stuff.
It's that deeper, more grounded thing Tara mentioned, waking up each day and choosing to love the good, the bad, the sometimes ugly.
Exactly. It's not conditional, like, I'll love you as long as you make me feel good about myself.
Right, not based on them filling your gaps.
That conditional love, where you only love them if they're compensating for your own shortcomings, it stops real intimacy from growing.
Yeah.
It keeps the relationship tied to everyone's internal baggage, makes it inherently unstable.
Okay, so we've got the why matters, and having a realistic view is essential. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The sources suggest the absolute cornerstone isn't what most people jump to first.
Precisely. I mean, good communication gets talked about all the time as the most critical thing.
Always.
But the overwhelming feeling, especially from those folks with decades under their belt, points to something even more fundamental, something that acts as the bedrock for good communication to even happen.
Which is
Ah.
respect.
Okay. Lori put it so directly. Respect is #1, most important above all else. Even, she said, more important than love itself during those times when the feelings fade a bit.
That's powerful. And the trend in the responses was striking.
How so?
People in shorter relationships, they often emphasize communication, but those together 20, 30, 40 years, they consistently highlighted respect as the non-negotiable.
Wow.
It suggests a real shift in priorities as relationships mature,
And the reason makes sense. Communication, yeah, it's vital, but it will break down sometimes.
Inevitable. Feelings get hurt, misunderstandings happen, but that underlying respect,
Yeah.
it acts like a cushion,
Right.
a safety net against just, being human together.
Exactly. Respect fosters trust. That fundamental belief in your partner's good intentions, their capabilities, even when they mess up.
Mhm.
It creates a safe space. You can be vulnerable without constantly fearing judgment or being belittled. Without respect,
Mm.
you get doubt, insecurity, hiding parts of yourself.
But isn't good communication the way you show respect? Like, how do you separate them in practice?
That's a fair question. Communication is definitely a manifestation of respect, no doubt.
Okay.
But the underlying feeling, that high regard for their character, their values, their perspective, that's the foundation communication needs. If that fundamental respect isn't there, even well-intentioned talk can get undermined by, contempt lurking underneath or just not really listening.
Okay, I see. Nicole's experience, 15 years in, really brought this to life for me. She
Mhm.
talked about this deeply and genuinely, felt respect for her husband.
For his qualities, right?
Yeah, his work ethic, patience, creativity, intelligence, his core values.
Mm.
And she stressed how everything else that works, the trust, the patience for each other, getting through challenges, it all flows from that respect.
And it's crucial to see how self-respect ties in here, too.
How so?
Alof put it so well, if you don't respect your wife, you don't respect yourself. If you
Mhm.
lack self-respect, it's incredibly hard to truly accept and value the respect you get from your partner.
Ah,
Eh,
okay. That can lead to insecurity, kind of undermining things from the inside.
exactly.
So what does this respect actually look like day to day? The sources gave some really concrete examples.
Yes, and these are super actionable. First, overwhelmingly, never badmouth your partner to other people.
Huge one.
Huge. They explained it doesn't just erode your own respect for them, it actually makes you feel worse about the relationship. If there's a problem, talk to your partner directly, respectfully.
Exactly. And respecting their different hobbies, interests, perspectives, even if it's not your thing,
Huh.
and actively avoiding judgment. That's key. Recognizing you're a team equals. If one person feels devalued, the whole team suffers eventually.
For sure. Another big piece of respect they highlighted, openness. No big secrets.
Right.
If you truly respect each other as partners, then everything should be discussable. Even the awkward, embarrassing, difficult stuff.
And of course, respect is just, well, fundamentally linked to trust, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the lifeblood, the foundation for intimacy, comfort, security. Without that trust, which grows out of respect, the relationship becomes a source of anxiety, not safety.
Okay, so building on that respect foundation, the next logical step seems to be cultivating that essential dialogue, talking openly, honestly about everything, especially the stuff that hurts.
Yeah, Ronnie's advice was crystal clear. Always talk to each other about what's bothering you. Don't go venting to friends or family first. It sounds obvious, but it's a common pitfall.
So common. And Tracy's point about secrets being corrosive, secrets divide you, always. That really hits home about the need for transparency to build trust.
Hmm.
It's almost a running joke between us, isn't it? How often we read these emails and the advice boils down to take this email and show it to your partner.
Huh. Yes. It really highlights how fundamental that open, honest communication is for people in successful long-term relationships.
Because that open talk, even when it's tough or painful, that's how you build trust and deepen intimacy.
Exactly. Vulnerability, it can feel risky, sure, but it's essential for strengthening that bond, fostering real connection.
And trust, like we touched on, it goes way beyond just, fidelity.
Oh, absolutely. It's about relying on your partner in all the serious stuff.
Yeah.
Health crises, raising kids, finances, big life decisions. Can you count on them?
That Ben Folds lyric comes to mind. It seems to me if you cannot trust, you cannot be trusted.
That's good. It speaks to that reciprocal nature. Distrust breeds distrust, creates this negative loop.
So how do you actually build that trust through communication? In practical terms, its sources had some tangible steps.
Transparency and vulnerability are key. It means actually saying something when you're bothered.
Yeah, not letting it fester.
Right. Sharing those uncomfortable insecurities we all have. And importantly, making promises and actually keeping them consistently over time.
And this one's tough, but learning to figure out what's their behavior versus your own stuff, your insecurities or past baggage.
Ah, that's incredibly hard sometimes. Is this really about them or is it my own history triggering me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that China plate analogy for trust. So true.
Yeah, once it's broken, even if you glue it back together, you can still see the cracks.
It's never quite the same.
And each break makes it harder to fix, maybe eventually impossible.
Okay, shifting gears just a bit here. The sources put a lot of weight on the idea that a healthy relationship isn't about two halves making a whole. It's more like two whole individuals choosing to build something together.
That's a really crucial distinction, often lost in, romantic ideals. Mandy's point, your spouse isn't responsible for your happiness. That's vital. They contribute, sure, but your fundamental well-being, that has to come from within you. And actually, individual happiness tends to enrich the relationship.
And that whole idea of constant sacrifice.
Yeah.
The sources pushed back hard on that.
Right. Some give and take, compromise, sure, that's normal. But a relationship based mostly on sacrifice, it's just not sustainable, breeds resentment.
Mm-hmm.
The sources even mention what they called shitty codependent relationships.
Okay.
Relationships that look stable on the surface, but it's because both people have just learned to tolerate bad behavior, often out of fear of being alone.
Okay. Not genuine connection.
Not really. Underneath, there's resentment, lack of fulfillment.
So a truly healthy, thriving relationship, according to this wisdom, needs two healthy and happy individuals.
Exactly. With their own identities, interests, perspectives.
And trying to control or change your partner
Yeah.
or letting yourself be controlled, that just destroys those individual identities, right? The very things that probably drew you together.
Yeah. Precisely. Allison's advice was so simple but powerful. Don't try to change them.
You chose this person.
You chose them as they are. And Dave echoed that, urging people, Don't ever give up who you are for the person you're with.
So how do you keep that individuality, that personal space, inside a committed relationship? The answer, maybe surprisingly, is by actively giving each other space.
Exactly. Having your own life, interests, friends, hobbies, it actually feeds the relationship.
Gives you something new to bring back.
Right. Stops things from getting stagnant or too enmeshed.
And the popularity of this theme in the emails was really noticeable. People talked about separate finances, separate friends, hobbies, even separate vacations sometimes.
Yeah, it came up a lot. And that fear of giving space, it often comes down to insecurity, doesn't it? Lack of trust.
That worry that if you're not joined at the hip, they might, leave.
But as Natalie wisely put it, not letting your partner be themselves, have their own life, it's actually a subtle form of disrespect.
Oh, so?
It questions their judgment. And ultimately, it questions your own worthiness, your own security in the relationship. You don't own them.
Right. Okay. Now, life happens, things change us, our circumstances. And the source is really stressed embracing that ongoing change together.
Dottie's story, 20 years, navigating big shifts in faith, politics, style, but keeping that love strong, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Her key takeaway, don't worry about what others think, just embrace each other's evolution.
That theme of individual change over time, especially in the really long relationships, 20 plus years, it came up again and again.
Mm-hmm.
That wedding advice from the elderly relative,
Mm-hmm.
so poignant. One day,
Yeah.
your spouse will be a different person. Make sure you fall in love with that person too.
And that circles right back to respecting each other's individual journeys, values, interests.
Creates the space for growth.
Exactly. But it absolutely needs that constant open communication and a real willingness to accept and adapt to the changes.
And we're not just talking small shifts here. People shared stories of navigating huge things together.
Like what?
Changes in religion, moving countries, deaths, political shifts, even partners exploring different sexual orientations or gender identities. Major stuff.
Wow. Michael's quote really sums up that uncertainty. When you commit, you don't actually know the person they will become. You have to admire the core because the superficial details are likely to evolve.
That's deep. Admire the core.
Yeah.
Of course, navigating all this change and challenge isn't always easy sailing. Which brings us to another crucial piece, getting good at fighting.
Ryan Saplin's view that relationships actually strengthen through stress and challenge is saying you have to fight, it's a powerful counterpoint to thinking all conflict is bad.
And Dr. John Gottman's work here is just fascinating.
His research, watching couples fight to predict divorce, groundbreaking.
And his key finding isn't that successful couples don't fight.
No, they absolutely do fight.
It's how they fight that matters.
Exactly. He identified those 4 horsemen of the relationship apocalypse, specific communication styles that are really bad news.
Okay, break those down.
First, criticism. That's attacking character, not behavior. Like instead of you didn't take out the trash, it's you're so lazy and never help.
Ouch. Okay.
Second, defensiveness, meeting complaints with counter complaints, blaming them, never taking responsibility.
Got it.
Third, contempt. Gottman says this is the worst one. Treating your partner with disrespect, mockery, sarcasm, name-calling, rolling your eyes, feeling superior.
Toxic.
Totally. And fourth, stonewalling. One partner just withdraws, shuts down, refuses to engage, like talking to a brick wall.
Right. And the emails we got definitely echoed this, how important it is to handle conflict well. They had some really practical advice, too.
Yeah, like avoiding insults and name-calling, that lines up perfectly with Gottman's contempt.
And not bringing up old fights in a new argument. Keep it focused.
Good one. And taking a breather when things get too hot. Just stepping away for a bit.
Simple but effective. And remembering it's not always about being right, but about both people feeling respected and heard.
Crucial. But maybe the most fundamental thing, being willing to fight in the first place.
To have the tough conversations?
Yeah, not just sweeping things under the rug. Jim's story about ignoring red flags, even though he seemed like a good husband on the surface, that highlights the danger of avoiding conflict.
Okay. And once you do have those fights, the ability to move past them, not hold grudges, that's vital too. Which leads us straight to forgiveness.
Yeah, the art of forgiveness. Brian's advice, sometimes just shut up, even when you know you're right.
Huh, sounds tough.
It is. But sometimes prioritizing the relationship over winning the argument is key. And Bill's blunt take, in marriage, there's no such thing as winning an argument. Reframes the whole goal.
And interestingly, Gottman found that most successful couples don't actually resolve all their problems.
Right. That was surprising. It suggests learning to accept certain differences, Finding ways to live with them is often more realistic than striving for total agreement on everything.
Which ties back to respect again, right? Accepting differences rather than trying to change the person.
Exactly. Michelle's point about seeking to understand their perspective, not just compromise where maybe both feel they lost something, that's insightful. Understanding builds connection.
So how do you actually get good at forgiving, practically?
Okay, some tips from the sources. When an argument is over, it's over. No dredging it up later.
Right. Done is done.
No keeping score. I did this, so you owe me that. And trying to separate their intentions from their behavior, recognize they probably didn't mean to hurt you. Maybe it was ignorance or a bad moment.
Giving the benefit of the doubt. And Fed's advice. Choose your battles wisely.
Yes. Not every little annoyance needs to become a big fight. Let the small stuff go sometimes. Save your energy for what really matters.
Okay, so moving beyond the big conflicts and forgiveness, the sources constantly talk about the power of small, consistent gestures, the little things.
Oh, definitely. Brian's analogy about ending up feeling like roommates if you don't keep up those small connections, that really hit home. He pointed out, kids grow up, family situations change. Eventually, it's just the two of you again.
And the fact that like half the respondents mentioned don't ever stop doing the little things, that says a lot.
Huge emphasis. And we're talking simple stuff,
Mhm.
saying, I love you regularly, holding hands, small
Yeah.
favors, helping with chores, even the less glamorous ones like cleaning up toilet messes without being asked.
Huh. Okay, yeah. Those little acts of service add up.
They really do. Just like small negative things erode the relationship, these small positive acts build up goodwill, reinforce the bond.
And prioritizing the marriage, the couple, even after kids arrive, that was stress too. Susan's point that a strong marriage actually makes for better parenting.
So important. Keep that love alive to feed the kids' love, essentially.
And the urging to keep up with date nights, getaways, making time for sex, even when you're tired or stressed, actively nurturing that romance.
Speaking of which, that leads right into the next big theme, sex matters, a L-lot death.
Yeah, the sources were pretty direct about this one, that anonymous quote.
Yeah.
If you or her are slipping, sex starts to slide, period. Pretty blunt.
It suggests sex can be like a barometer for the relationship's health, doesn't it?
Totally. My own college experience, realizing that link between emotional closeness and physical intimacy, it clicks. When things are good emotionally, sex is often good. When there's distance, it's often one of the first things to go.
And the sources just kept saying it. Sex is like the state of the union for the relationship.
Good relationship often equals good sex, and vice versa.
Hundreds of times this came up. Now, the specifics varied widely, of course. But mutual sexual satisfaction, feeling desired, that was consistently key.
And some couples even use sex proactively, like to heal things.
Yeah, scheduling it when things feel distant as a way to reconnect. That anecdote about deciding to have sex every day for a week
Right. To break a rut.
might sound a bit odd, but the fact it worked for them shows how powerful physical intimacy can be for strengthening the bond.
Okay. So, alongside all the emotional and relational stuff, there was also a strong emphasis on just being practical, creating shared rules, figuring out the logistics.
Yes, the debunking of the 50-50 myth was common, especially with chores, childcare. Trying to split everything exactly down the middle often just leads to scorekeeping and resentment.
Better to accept strengths and weaknesses, divide things in a way that feels fair to both.
Exactly. Liz's advice. Talk to your partner about those things when it comes to dividing and conquering all the crap that has to get done. It's key. Life is messy.
For sure.
You need that open talk about the practicalities to stop resentment building up.
Embracing pragmatism, dividing tasks based on skills or preferences. Your example of one handling dishes, the other garbage, that kind of thing.
Right. It prevents unnecessary fights. And having clear, agreed-upon rules for finances, spending, big purchases, vacations, that minimizes conflict too, making sure you're on the same page.
Scheduling regular meetings about this stuff, even if it sounds formal, it can actually be really helpful.
Yeah, or that anecdote about couples doing annual reviews of their relationship.
Wow, really?
Yeah, a way to intentionally check in, make sure needs are being met, address issues before they blow up, grow together consciously.
Proactive. I like that. Okay, so as you navigate all this, the good, the bad, the practical, the sources offer one final sort of overarching piece of wisdom: learn to ride the waves.
Chris's perspective, after 44 years, love changes. It's like a roller coaster, ups and downs.
Yeah.
But he said the downs get less severe, the ups get more loving over time. Just keep going. It's hopeful.
It is. And that nurse's analogy, relationships, like ocean waves.
Yeah, periods of calm, periods of turbulence, representing emotions, life events.
The key is to ride them together, understanding they're often temporary, not necessarily reflecting the relationship's core quality.
Right. And Kevin's story about suddenly feeling resentment that just passed. It highlights giving your partner the benefit of the doubt, especially after years of happiness.
Remembering why you fell in love in the first place, that helps weather the storms.
Absolutely. And the amazing consistency in all this advice from so many different people, different lives, it really suggests there are some fundamental, maybe even universal truths here.
It really does feel that way. And to tie it all together, we got this just fantastic, comprehensive summary from a reader named Margot. It's incredible.
Yeah, Margot really captured so much. She advises you can work through anything as long as you are not destroying yourself or each other, emotionally, physically, financially, or spiritually. That's huge right there.
Make nothing off limits to discuss.
Exactly. Never shame or mock each other for the things that make you happy. Write down why you fell in love and read it every year. Write love letters often. Make each other first.
Spouse comes first, even with kids.
Yes. When kids arrive, do not forget the love that produced them. Spouse comes first. Each of you will continue to grow. Bring the other one with you. Be the one that welcomes that growth.
Assume it's up to you to keep it strong.
Both of you assume that. Be passionate about cleaning house, preparing meals. Do it together. Do not complain about your partner to anyone. Love them for who they are.
Make love even when you're not in the mood sometimes. Trust, benefit of the doubt, transparency.
All of it. Have nothing to hide. Be proud of each other. Have a life outside of each other, but share it. Pamper and adore each other. Go to counseling now before you need it.
Proactive again.
So you are both open to working on it. Disagree with respect. Be open to change. Print this and refer to it daily. Wow.
Margot's summary is just remarkable, isn't it?
Mhm.
So comprehensive, so actionable. It pulls together so many of these themes beautifully. Respect, communication, growth, intimacy.
It really does.
So for you listening, as you kind of absorb these, dozen or so core principles from people who've made it work long term, which ones really resonate with you right now?
Yeah, what stands out in your own understanding of relationships?
And maybe, just maybe, think about picking one or two of these ideas. How could you actively explore applying them in your own life, your own relationships? Definitely gives you a lot to think about.